What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to the Dr. Joy Show, your prescription for total wellness, and I'm your host, Dr. Joy. Today, we're continuing our conversation on the college process. And yes, my guest is an expert with that because he has a television show called The Secrets of College Planning. I'm not going to give you too much information before we do our 3 deep breaths. You know how we start the Dr. Joy Show. Are you ready? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, exhale. How do you feel? I know I feel great. Well, I want to welcome Anthony Uva to the Dr. Joy Show. Thank you for joining me as you are going to help put lots of students and parents at ease with this crazy tangled weave of the college planning process, right?
Well, thank you very much for having me on your show.
Now, and I did say that you're an expert because you do have a show called The Secrets of College Planning.
Correct.
So I kind of I want you to share a little bit of that on the Dr. Joy Show. And somebody may say, so one of the viewers may say, well, how does that apply to wellness? Well, let me tell you how it applies. Physical pain and anguish, although it could be great. There's some stress involved, right? Good, bad, and ugly. It can affect if you eat. It can affect your financial pocket, which we're going to talk about, right? Sure. Your social. So it touches a lot of the wellness elements. So without further ado, who are your clients?
My clients are high school students, anything from 9th grade all the way to senior year.
Okay, so 9th through 12th grade.
Yeah, so that's 14 to 18.
Oh, all right. Your clients are parents too, or no?
Yeah, absolutely. The parents are what drives the students to go to college.
Now, Anthony, how did you get started in collegiate consulting?
Yeah, so I started in sports myself. I played baseball all the way through college. And then after college, I went into a college recruiting service and started helping parents and students go to college for athletics.
Okay.
What ended up happening is I did that for about 10 years. And then I went into the corporate world because the gentleman who owned the college recruiting service sold it off. So it dispersed the whole company. And so then went into different sales positions and things like that. And then about 5 years ago, started back into the college recruiting realm again with my own service. So now I help all types of high school kids, not just athletes, but theater, dance, academics, you name it. That's what we do. We try to help everybody now.
Which is good because students need to understand that they all have talents. It's just tapping into those talents.
Yeah.
How has the college process changed from 10 years ago to now?
So the college process basically is the same from 10 years ago until now. Mm-hmm. That's what the show is really about. It's about getting people to understand that the process really doesn't change. It's really about the time to make those decisions. Mm-hmm. The earlier, the better. And having admissions people on, financial aid people on, career services on, coaches, teachers, professors, students, you get the same thing. Everybody wants you to start as early as 9th grade in high school.
Shouldn't it be even earlier than that?
Some people are doing it more for athletic purposes.
Right.
You see it more for a lot of football and basketball. Mm-hmm. You get, your 6th graders, 7th graders that people are trying to get.
Yeah.
But usually for others, for like academics or band or theater or things like that, it's usually by sophomore, junior year, people start realizing that they can do that at the college level.
So let's talk about, I'm going to jump right in because I know parents watching, all right? Yes, of course, they have goals and aspirations for their children. They want them to go to college. But, colleges these days are very expensive. Sure. I mean, if you go to, say, a state, if you're in state and you pay in-state tuition, it's still going to run you $100,000.
Sure.
So let's talk about the financial aid process. How do you make it simple for your clients?
So really what we're doing in any college recruiting service is really to promote the students to the colleges. If you want to get into financing and things of that sort, there's a lot of financial planners out there that would help families to do anything that they need to do to get their sons or daughters to a college and find the right ways to pay for the college.
Okay.
So mine is more of the approach of promoting that student. So a lot of kids don't realize that, a lot of high schools are not well known in other parts of the country. So we sit here in Princeton, New Jersey. And if you can go anywhere in the world and say Princeton, New Jersey, there's no problem.
Right.
But you go outside of Princeton, New Jersey, you go to a different town in New Jersey, and no one recognizes that town, right? So everybody can recognize Princeton, but they don't recognize anything else.
Right.
Right? So that's what happens at the college level, is that if you don't get promoted and you don't tell people what's going on and what you're doing at the high school level, the odds on them actually finding you or knowing who you are is very difficult.
Right.
So that's what the college recruiting services are out there for, is really just to promote those students to the colleges and get them to recognize them as early as possible. Then the schools at the college level, there's different things that different colleges do. So you have a lot of Division III type schools, the small schools, that have just money. So they have merit money, academic money. They'll call it anything but athletic scholarship.
Right, because D3 doesn't offer that.
Exactly. So you have your Division I schools that offer athletic scholarships. But some Division I schools are not fully funded, what they call.
Right.
So fully funded just means that alumni, business people outside of the school are actually donating to the school, right? And so the school makes enough money to actually make enough scholarships for everybody to go to school there. Whoever plays a sport, whoever does something that the school feels can give a scholarship to, that's where it is. So you have smaller Division I programs, like mid-major programs, that they don't have fully funded sports. They don't have fully funded scholarships, which means that they don't have enough people funding the money to give the scholarship amount, so they have all that amount to give to that student. So they might only offer $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 of a $50,000 a year school, right? So that's what starts to happen in those type of schools. So it just depends on the school.
Okay, so are your clients domestic across the United States?
Yeah, so I get clients from all over the globe.
Right.
So most of them are from the U.S.,
right.
But we do get kids from India, China, Japan. Yeah, so they're all over the place.
So describe a type of client that you would take into your program.
So most kids that come into the program are Middle America. They're
described it.
It's just,
Come on now, Anthony. Describe what Middle America means.
It means that anyone that's in middle class.
Okay.
So
they're in the 99%.
They're 99%.
Okay.
Exactly, and so they're looking for a particular sport or a particular school that they're looking for.
Okay.
And so those kids just need some help in promoting them out to those colleges. That's all they need. It's more like a hand-holding type thing. So then by the time they become seniors, the schools can offer them different amounts of money based on who they are.
So would you take a student that is a marginal student academically?
So
and I say marginal, I say C.
Right. So C is about a 2.5 GPA is a C, somewhere around
Is it?
there.
I thought it was 2.0. Okay. See,
So,
you educated me. Okay.
So usually the kids that come on is usually a 3.0, 3.5, a B average
B
type
plus
student.
average.
Right.
Okay.
Or better.
Or better.
And they just come from middle class families. Most of the kids are playing a varsity sport. Maybe there's secondary kids. Maybe there's kids that are playing ahead of them that are really good, but they're still on the varsity team. So they can go to a school. The uniqueness about the recruiting services is that a lot of schools people won't hear about, so they don't know who the colleges really are.
Right.
So the colleges have the same problem that the high schools have, right? So if you're from a small little school in Pennsylvania someplace and you've never heard of the school, but yet they want to offer you money, maybe that student doesn't want to go to that school because they never heard of it.
Right.
But if they go visit the school and actually see what the school is all about, what starts to happen is the student falls in love with the school and now goes to a school that maybe they wouldn't have thought of before.
So your service is actually an addendum to what they would call college counseling that sets within the school.
Yeah. So the high schools.
But it's your clients pay for
Correct.
your service.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So the high schools help students to go to school. You have your guidance counselors that are doing that, and there's all kinds of softwares that they help.
Right,
to find the right,
Naviance and
right.
yeah.
So they help those students to find the right school, the right match for them. All we're doing is we're opening the broader scope to schools maybe that they didn't tell the guidance counselor about. Maybe they didn't know about that particular school. Maybe it was a school in Iowa, maybe a school in Hawaii, maybe a school in Texas that they didn't think about. And so we open the doors a little bit wider to see what's out there for them, just so then they have a better understanding. Then they can always go back to the guidance counselor and said, hey, I got this school in, Iowa that wants me. I don't know anything about it. Can you tell me more about it? So it's more of a back and forth type of environment.
So you facilitate the conversations between the students and the schools. Do you also take the student to the school?
No,
Okay.
no. So we're not agents. We don't help the kids go to school and find the money and things like that.
Okay.
All we're doing is helping them promote them to the colleges. The colleges do all the rest of the work. The colleges are helping them find the money to give to the students. The colleges do all of that. They basically help the kid come to the school.
So what's the chance then of a student getting a scholarship, whether it's academic, whether it's or sports, athletic?
So if it's just academics, usually what starts to happen with academics is you're competing against everybody else,
Yeah,
right? Because
and
that's
pretty
general.
tough.
Exactly.
Well, both sets are pretty tough, whether it's athletics or academics. It's a tough field.
Yeah. So
Right?
so what happens at the college level is they look for extracurricular activities. They look for not just an athlete, but something extraordinary.
So it's like, what else did you do?
Exactly.
Okay, so you are good on the track. I ran track and field. So you're good on the track, but what else you got?
Exactly.
So that's the question.
Exactly. So
Okay.
it's something more that somebody else might not have had. That's what the school is looking for. They're looking for that extra personality that the student has to go to school. What ends up happening is schools, it comes down to a lot of different factors with the schools to get different types of monies. First of all, it depends on the school. So if you go to an Ivy League school,
Right.
you're looking at large amounts of dollars, right?
Yes, 62,000 and higher, right?
Okay.
Per year.
And then if you're looking at a smaller type of school, maybe a community college to start.
You do recruiting for community colleges
Sure,
too?
absolutely.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you have the smaller schools like that that don't cost as much.
Right.
Right. So it really depends on what the parents want to do with their sons and daughters. So every school is different. Every school offers different amounts of money for different things. So some schools, because you're a woman, you get money because of that, right? Because you're an ethnic background, you get money because of that.
Left-handed?
If you're left-handed, you get money for that. So there's a lot of different aspects to it. It's not just sports or academics. It's everything. It's everything that student is doing. That's why when I talk to families, it's really just about 3 different factors for me. It's
Okay.
geographically, where do you want to go to school?
So that's the first question.
That's the first question.
Okay.
Academically, where can you graduate from? Just don't pick a school just because, hey, Harvard is recruiting me or wants me. Great, but
Can
if
you
you're
get in and can you get out?
exactly,
Get out meaning walk across.
exactly,
Yes.
can you graduate
Can
from
you
the
graduate?
school, or is it going to be very difficult for you?
Right.
So that should be the second thing. And then the last thing should be the extracurricular activity. Is it the sport? Is it the band, the theater, the dance, just academics? What's that extracurricular activity? Can you actually do that at the school? Okay? Because some schools are not big enough where they don't have that particular activity.
Right.
So if you're a skydiver and the school doesn't have a skydiving club, well, then I guess you're not going to be skydiving at the school, right?
So what is one thing that you probably know this off the top of your head, but what is the one thing that a student can do while they're in high school that they can also do when they're in college?
They could do almost everything.
Really?
So kids have different things at the college level. There's
Okay.
all kinds of stuff. There's people that go to college and are the managers of the sports clubs. They're equipment managers of the sports clubs. So water boys on the football team. They're all people that are going to school.
Right.
They're the same as everybody else.
Right.
It's just that the number factor is the key. So what I mean by that is positions. So if you're playing a sport and you play a particular position, but that school isn't looking for that particular position, well, the odds on you getting into that school is really difficult because that's not the position they're looking for that particular year.
Right.
Okay? So a lot of factors have to fall into place for you to go to the particular school that you're looking for.
And that information is information you would filter back from the school to your client.
Correct.
Saying, hey, yeah, I know you're good at quarterbacking. I would just take football. You're good at quarterbacking, but guess what? They have one great guy and two that's ready to fill his slot for the next 3 years. So your chance of getting into this particular school, the quarterback, probably is going to be slim to none.
Well, or the school will take him, but he'll be the fourth quarterback,
They'll
so he
redshirt
won't
him?
play until
Okay.
his senior year. So if you want to be a
That's painful.
student, if you want to be a student that wants to go to school and do that
Right.
and go 3 years without playing,
No.
that's up to you. So
Okay.
that's why I always leave it up to the parents and the students because they're the ones. It's their life. So they're the ones that have to pick the right school for them, and that's why I always tell them start out with geographically first because that's the key. You visit the schools. It's just like buying a house. You just don't buy a house and say I want to live in this particular town and that's it. You go and visit and look at the houses and see which one you like. And then you find the one that fits you.
See, I think that's the difference between now and like back in the day when we were going to school. I don't know about you, but I didn't visit any of the schools that I applied to prior to gaining admission.
Yeah.
It just didn't, it just didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking now, parents do road trips with their children.
Correct.
I know we did. We took them up and down the East Coast. We flew them out to the West Coast, went up and down that coast. So, and because that's what's done, right?
Yeah.
But what would you say would be your hardest client? What's the toughest client or scenario that you have come to and worked through?
The toughest client is someone that isn't open-minded. Someone that has a particular school in mind and only one school, and that's it. So that person
Do you take them?
It wouldn't want to come onto our service.
Okay.
Because we might not be able to get them into that particular one school. So they're better off just working on them by themselves and doing it for that one particular school.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, because there are some that, and then they would ED and hope that they get it, right?
Correct.
So is there a process within your organization, within your company, that the students go through? And can you talk a little bit about that without giving away all the secrets?
No, well, the process is pretty simple. Start as early as possible.
Okay,
So,
you said ninth grade.
ninth grade.
Or
If
earlier.
if they start in ninth grade, that's usually when we accept them into the service.
Okay.
Is in ninth grade.
And what's the latest that you will accept someone into the service?
Senior year, first semester up until about November.
Okay.
That's the latest that will go.
Okay.
And when you're a senior and you're doing it, what starts to happen is it multiplies very quickly, and everything happens all at once.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for some families to pick a school because they're not really sure. So when someone comes on as a senior, we just tell them, take the schools that are interested in their sons and daughters,
Right.
because you don't have a lot of time to really filter out a lot of different schools. Where if you start as a freshman or a sophomore or a junior, you have more time to relax and go through each school and actually learn about the school before you actually pick a school your senior year.
So, if it's what's the one thing that you would say in terms of giving advice for someone that wants to do a sport in college and they're in high school? Is there one particular thing that you would tell them?
Well, from doing the show for 4 years, I found from a lot of college coaches, they want to see an all-around student. So what that means is they don't want to always just see a student playing one particular sport all year round. So a lot of times those kids actually get burned out by the time they get to college because they've been playing the same sport all year round, and that's what starts to happen.
Really? They say that?
Yeah.
But then so I take that, if I may just interrupt for a second, they just don't want to see a kid that just stuck with football or baseball or track all the way through, but to mix it up?
Yeah, they want to see a variety in the students.
Really?
They find that when students play all year round, by the time they get to college, they get burnt out and they're not interested in going on. So a lot of kids get to college, that first year they drop out of that particular sport because they're just fed up with whatever they're doing in the sport. So that's what tends to happen with a lot of kids.
Wow.
You have to remember, at the college level, to go to professional level for football and basketball, you're looking at less than 1% of the students.
It's very slim. It's very highly competitive.
Right.
Yes.
So from high school to college, there's a big drop off as well.
Right. Oh yeah.
So I think the statistics, the last time I checked in just football, there were 13 million football players at the high school level. At the college level, there's only 1 million. So what happened to those other 12 million kids? Did they just disappear?
And then take it one more time, go one more to the professional level, Anthony. And the reason why I'm asking you to go there and you're quantifying this and it's really good, this is a message to those parents out there that have, 7 and 8 year olds? No, I'm sorry. 6 and 7 year olds that are playing, flag football, and they're putting the pressure on their kids. This is your ticket to college. So now you're quantifying the numbers to actually back up how competitive it is.
Yeah.
For them.
So I think now don't exactly on the
give
exact
me a
numbers,
range.
but I think from college to the NFL is anywhere between 750 and 1,100 students that actually graduate from college and get drafted in the NFL.
So we started at 12 million.
13 million.
We started at 13 million to 1 million.
Yeah.
And then 1 million to 1,100?
750 to 1,100 kids.
Okay. We're not even going to go there. And that's NFL. What about basketball? Do you same thing?
Similar things.
So the bottom line is, I guess that's why I'm perplexed, because for a college to say that they don't want the student to continuously play just in that sport, well, you continue and practice kind of sort of trains you to make perfect, right?
Yeah.
So
The reason why they want you to do other sports is to get a well-rounded person.
Okay.
And the more...
So maybe do one every season then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the more you can interact with different people, you have different types of coaching.
Yeah.
You have different experiences.
Right.
Different people that play the different sports. So
Okay.
you're getting an all-round type person. You're not just always getting the same coaching, the same
Right.
people around you, and so on. So you're getting a well-rounded person. A big example at the college level is when coaches actually go visit the schools to go see the kids play.
Right.
A lot of times they're not really watching the game itself. They're watching outside the game. What that student is looking for. And doing outside the game. Are they patting people on the back? Are they saying, hey, you're doing a great job? Or are they the type of person that slams the ball down and says, this and that, and starts cursing at people? So it just depends on what you're doing as a high school student and what the colleges are looking for.
Right.
Every college is looking for something different because they're all humans, just like us, right? We're all human. We all have faults. So everybody's got something that, a college coach is looking for and not looking for.
That's interesting that you said that, because I made the assumption that if coaches are going to watch the student, they're going to watch the student play the game, not the other stuff. Ooh, I just learned something new.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure the viewers can appreciate that as well.
Sure.
So, yeah, all right. So you scored a touchdown, but were you were you humble when you scored the touchdown, or were you a showboat when you scored the touchdown?
Correct.
How did you interact with your coach and the other players? Team player.
That's
Are
right.
you a team player or are you not?
Right, and every
Wow.
extracurricular activity has that.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not just sports.
Yeah.
It's everything. People do it in dance, people do it in theater, people do it in academics.
Yes.
You have those people that are...
Debate team, robotics
Absolutely.
team. Yeah, okay. So here's my question now with regards to how much does it cost? You don't have to give me an exact figure because I already know that 9th grade to 12th grade. So what's the range that parents should plan for if they wanted to utilize your service?
So it ranges. It all depends on what they're looking for.
Okay.
Everything is different. It's like an a la carte.
Okay, so it's customized to their
Correct.
needs.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you want only a certain number of schools, you can pay in the hundreds.
Okay.
If you want a lot of schools and you want a lot more work behind it, you're going to pay in the thousands.
And what's your success rate?
About 93 to a 95% success rate. And the other,
Wow.
I'd say the other percentage is really comes down to the student didn't pick the school that had interest in them. The student decided not to play anymore, or not even to go to college.
Right.
We get a lot of those where they decide just not even to go to college at all. So that's where the other percentile falls.
This has all been very informative, Anthony, and I do appreciate it. Where can people find you?
So they can find all of my shows on Vimeo and YouTube and Roku TV, Apple
The
TV.
Secrets of College Planning, that's his show. All right, now specifically for your company website?
Yep, you can go to universityseekers.com and just fill out all your information there, and then they'll get in contact with me, and that'll be it.
And that starts the process.
That starts the process.
Thank you very much for being a guest on the Dr. Joy Show and sharing some of the secrets of college planning. Anthony, I really appreciate it. I'm sure my viewers do too.
Thank you, Dr. Joy. I appreciate it.
Until next time, all right, now y'all parents, the parents and the children, start your college planning early. 9th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, I'd say start it. You heard Anthony, he's the expert. He said the same thing. And good luck with that. Until next time, be blessed, stay healthy. See ya.